Hashtag new history. Hashtag new history.
All right, what's going on, good people? This is Kelly Payton. Mr. Kelly is speaking, and I'm here with another edition of Hashtag New History. This is actually the first one we did for 2021. We know 2020 was crazy. Listen, we did a lot of interviews, and I know we got more to release. Trust me, it's coming. But this particular interview, the timing of it, with all of the crazy going on, soon as the new year starts and we think that 2020 couldn't get no crazier, then if you take a look around the country, we got a lot going on. So we got a lot to talk about. But at the same time, I always am very blessed and humbled to be able to bring you amazing guests to be able to have conversations with you. I know y'all love me and you like to hear my voice, but I like to have other voices because I'm a student of the game of life, and I like to learn, and I like to absorb good vibes, good energy. So anytime I have an opportunity on this platform that God has blessed me with to be able to connect with people who have a vibe that is literally changing the culture. And when I say the culture, because, Black folks in America, we're trying to find our way and trying to return back to a culture that was taken, stolen, and all the rest of that good stuff. You already know how I feel about that. You done heard other shows, so you already know where I'm at with that. So to be able to connect with people who are doing amazing things that is relevant and current with what's going on. And those are the type of topics that I'm not afraid to have. Those are the type of conversations that I'm never afraid to have. And I want to be able to bring you strong Black voices, man, to be able to flood the internet with the positivity of who we are versus all of the other stuff that they say we are. So we can bring in our guest, please, Clarissa. So listen, I'm blessed to have Mr. Andre Wright and one more man, Jason Soul, with me today. And fellas, how y'all doing? What's going on, man?
Good, man.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
New Year. Hey, how y'all doing, man? I just want to know how y'all doing, man. How's everything, man?
Everything peace. Today was a busy day. I mean, everything peace, man. It's all love, man. We just got off of an airplane yesterday, so we feeling good though. Everybody in good spirits on our end.
Yeah. No jet lag, brother.
No. A little bit, because I drove 3 hours from Chicago after I got off the airplane, so I was, in the middle of the night I drove, so it's like I felt it a little bit today. But man, we soldiers, we still here. You know what I'm saying? We showed up like we needed to.
Yeah.
The Warriors don't have no hours, right?
Hey,
That's right.
Thanks.
How you, Jason? What's going on, brother?
Oh man, I feel great, man. Like I told Andre the other day, any day above ground is a blessing. Any day not in a jail cell is an honor for me. So I appreciate the smaller things, man. I don't need a bunch of stuff, like being incarcerated, being away from my mom and being away from people that love me. Every day for me is just a super blessing. So, me and Andre, we trying to bring people home and help people, boss up themselves. So as leaders, we feel like it's our job to only create more leaders. Ooh. So that's our mission, and that's how we rocking in 2021 and beyond.
You mean you started like that, with leaders making leaders? Is this how
Yeah, that's what we are.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how it is. That's how it is.
Listen,
we got plenty of displays of that too, man. It's all the way throughout our tenure of who we've been. It's not just because Humanize My Hoodie started. You can go back. You could go back to Jason to 96, 94. You can go back with me to 97.
Look, hold on. Before you jump right into the stories of it, man, who are y'all, man? My platform is like, who are these brothers? What's going on? Hey, Andre, introduce yourself, man, who you are, what you do, that kind of thing. Man, do a short introduction on yourself, and then we're going to do the same thing with my man. Then we're going to jump right into it. We're going to keep it going. Look, we're going to pick up right where you left off at, too.
For sure.
So I'm Andre Wright, father of three. I always like to introduce myself as a father first. That's one of my greatest attributes. I've been a professional designer for the last 20 years. I live in Iowa, born and raised in Waterloo, Iowa. Currently residing in Iowa City, which is just down the road. I decided to, keep my family here and make a life. And man, I've been trailblazing in this town in Iowa for a long time. Probably been doing fashion for the last 12, before I started, wasn't no fashion, nothing. You know what I mean? Nobody had brands. I mean, you heard of brands and stuff like that, but when I was talking about leading, that's what I meant. Like, we've been doing stuff like that and influencing the culture for a long time. We just have a platform now to be able to do it on a mass scale. So yeah, designer, man, humble guy, man, love the people, man. Anybody who know me, respect it. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for people and just love what I do, man. Passionate person, straight up. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. Jason, introduce yourself to the people, my brother.
Like Andre, I'm a father of 2 amazing girls. They hold me accountable every single day. Like every
Girl dad. That's what I'm
Hey, absolutely. Got an amazing. Hey, shout out to you, man. Fatherhood is beautiful, and I feel like it's my most important job. It's my most important job. I put nothing before raising my babies, but my wife always say, "No, I'm your first. I'm your."
Hey, that's real.
Yeah, I think we put family first, and then we try to build everything beyond that. So I'm from Chicago, and growing up there, the family structure was, really messed up. My father, he a heroin addict, still to this day, got hooked early, got his struggles, and I was just blessed with a resilient mom, teen parent, but she held it down. So I had somebody to kind of model to navigate those tough neighborhoods. But she sent me to Iowa when I was 16, because I was in the game pretty heavy at a young, early, I was doing too much and I didn't recognize it, but she could see it. And she sent me down to Iowa, and I'm like, man, that's a big punishment. Like, you tripping, but
what you trying to say, man? Ain't nothing in Iowa. Did you find my man in Iowa? What you mean?
Hey, at the time, you gotta think when he was leaving, so he didn't know what he was going into.
Man, it was wilderness. It was wilderness, man. Like, I tell the story when we was driving to Iowa, me and my aunt. It got to a point where things were just unfamiliar, and that's a scary feeling, you know what I mean? But emotionally, as a tall Black guy, I didn't have a space to say, hey, man, it feels scary being out here in these woods and all this open land. I'm from the city.
You better not say that. Oh, no.
No, but that's the thing. It wasn't no room for us to be vulnerable. I had to man up quick. I was Muslim. I didn't eat pork. Like, I moved, and I had a gang tattoo on my arm. So Andre was an important piece of my development because he knew the lay of the land. He'll say, hey, man, you don't want to mess with that girl, man. You don't want to do I needed a guide, and Andre stood tall. So to be able to, for me to go through the stuff I went through, for Andre to have his traumas, and for us to say, man, let's go ahead and do this together. Like, arm in arm, we hold each other down, we make sure we both healthy, and we do it for the culture. It's an honor. So I'm a professor. I teach criminal justice now. This will be my 12th year. I've written a lot of, scholarly articles. I've published community articles. I'm former president of the Minneapolis NAACP. I rolled out for Philando. I've rolled out for Jamar Clark, and we definitely rolled out for George Floyd. So, I'm a man of the people. Like I said, I've been through a lot. Most of it structural racism, some of it just poor decision making. So it's an honor to do this, with my mans and do this from a place of love. And we know the ancestors watching over this, so we feel good when we wake up.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, I love your energy, man. Love your vibe, man. Thank you so much for being on the platform. I never take any of that for granted, man. And so far, man, your vibe that you put out, you talk about the strength of family and being a father. And we all know that there's a lot of interesting conversation about the version of fathers that people think that Black men are. And so listening to what you guys said, how you introduced yourself from the beginning, you didn't talk about, yachts and boats and what you got and bank accounts and none of the rest of that stuff. You talked about being a girl dad and being a dad is what you talked about. And so that's something that's near and dear to me, man. Right now, look, I'm going to need, after we get done, I'm going to need you brothers to join with me in prayer. I got 2 daughters. 19 and 17. Yeah. I got a 19-year-old that I had to meet her boyfriend, man.
We need to girl. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I had to, look, hey, so
it's real.
How old y'all daughters?
Hey, it's real right now. It's really real,
bruh. So I met the boyfriend the first time, and he was quiet most of the time. But we got to the end of the conversation. He said one thing that he almost got that. Listen, you from Chicago? You from Ohio? I'm from East St. Louis, man. I grew up in the project of East St. Louis, dog. So, yeah. So, talking to my man, and You know, he said one little thing. I had to make sure I didn't try it. He presented himself as a good young man.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to talk about on that level and aspect of kids, man, is here's what I had to do. I had to respect this young man before I even met him because my daughter chose him.
Yeah.
And if my daughter chose him, and if I did my job, if she's looking at the lens of of this world through me, then I have to trust the beginning stage. Even though the young man, he just turned 20 years old, so I mean, he like a baby, but I still have to trust her, man. So talk about with all the things that you've been through in your life, man. Having your children, did you invoke your fears on them? Did you invoke your faith on them? Or you just let them be them? Well, like how did you guys navigate with all the things you've been through as a father?
I would say I've done all three. Like initially, probably just because I was scared and I'm being a new father. My son's the oldest. I have two girls too. I got my daughter's 12 and my youngest daughter is 4. So I was probably invoking my fear. Oh, yeah, man, look, man, it's cracking around here, bro. Like, for real, I'm surprised. They gone right now, so I can be on here and get busy. But, you know, if they was home, then, you know, she'd be right here. My baby be right here. She's my Zoom partner. You know what I'm saying? She makes sure my Zoom's being straight. But like I was saying, like, I think initially was fear, right? Like of being a father and not understanding. So of course, all the stuff I was scared of, all the trauma that I grew up with was bringing it into them. But as we got older, it's like, as they got older, I'm more like, they are who they gonna be regardless. I need to be supportive of who they are. And I need to be the guy because I'm doing all the right things in the house as a father. You know, as a husband, as all the things. They got all the examples, you know what I'm saying? So I think as they get older, it's about inspiring them and letting them be who they are because they're going to be who they are regardless. So when we was growing up, our parents, they kind of molded us to who they wanted us to be. I know my parents was trying to mold us to be a certain person, and a lot of it led to us getting in trouble, doing stuff we didn't want to because it wasn't who we initially was. So I don't try to take that same model with my parenthood that my parents used on me because I felt like, nah, it's a new day, man. And these kids is a lot different than what we had, what they got access to now.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Like we didn't have no access to that stuff, man. We didn't have, like, I showed Jason my son shooting a basketball. He was shooting basketball. He got the thing to shoot the ball out. And Jay was like, man, we would have had that in the hood, man. I wouldn't need nobody to pass me the ball. Went out there and shot the ball. You know,
that's new. I got girls. Wait a minute, it's something to pass you the ball?
It's a machine that shoot the ball out. You catch the ball and shoot it.
Yeah.
I said, I might have went to the NBA because I would have used the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they got
passes and whatnot. Right.
Yeah, they just got access to things that we didn't have as far as technology, as far as just the world. So I think it's more important nowadays to inspire the youth or inspire our kids and let them be who they are, you know, who they originally are. God made them a certain way, you know, and we don't get to rewrite that stuff. Our parents was trying to rewrite our stuff like, no, you're going to do it like this. And if you don't do it like this, you're going to get this, you know.
No, if you don't do it like this, you're going to die, fool.
For real.
Or you go, you know, like that's really what it was. It was more of a survivalist kind of thing is really what it was. Jason, man, how you been able to navigate through, you know, fatherhood, man, with being a girl dad, my brother?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like I'm the father I wish I had. You know, growing up, like I was emotional on the court where people thought I was just a tough dude. Like I was just like rough or stuff. And it was more so like I just had a chip on my shoulder because I really wanted a relationship with my father. And it was like, I couldn't say that, you know? So for me, I get him everything.
How to
like
say it, probably, bro.
What's that?
I said, you probably didn't know how to say it. You know what I mean? Like you had emotions and feelings, you know. I mean, it wasn't, you know, we didn't know how to say that in the hood, you know?
For sure. So for me, I just take the approach of, hey, I'm here to serve you, you know, for real. Like my daughters make me a better person. So I don't even think about what I give to them. I think about the fact that I think about them if I'm gonna throw it out of the window. You know, as a kid, like before I had kids, it's like, hey, it's whatever. What we doing in the club, bar, school, but they definitely slowed me down enough to be like, hey, hold on, man, my baby's at the crib. Let me call my babies. Like they my source in a lot of different ways, and it's like a lot of people don't have that thing that anchor them or that pulls them back. For my babies, it's like whatever they doing, I'm doing. Whatever they like, man, I did a TikTok, bro. You remember I did that TikTok?
I remember that.
I don't even do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But because of them, I'm like, come on, let's go ahead and dance it out. So for me, I'm willing to be transformed by my daughters just as much as I'm willing to be transformed by me.
You will be transformed. Ooh, that right there is, and here's what's crazy. Most of us are trying to become something or live out something that we've never seen examples of. You know what I mean? Like, and trying to become this thing and not trying to become. I love what you said, brother. We have become the fathers that we didn't have. Like we have become that. And a lot of the mainstream doesn't shine a light on that possibility, man. It's a lot of conversations about, single mothers and things of that nature. But the struggle and the strength of a man being able to grow up, be accountable, and be there, even while he's trying to figure it out, is really a special thing. It's an emotional thing that they don't really know that we really cherish, number one. And number two, that we really go through for real. Go to the cigar lounges and ask questions to the older guys sitting around, or we watching them, seeing how they dress, how they wear their hat, how they articulate themselves, things of that nature, man. It's a certain portion of us that are still being fathered, man. Like I'm 39, about to be 40 this year, brother. And there are men that are around me that are older than me that I can sit for hours, man, with a notebook and just listen and them talk about life, man. And it gives me so much insight and wisdom. And so definitely appreciate the conversation about your fam. But we talked a little bit offline, man, about, who you guys are and what you're doing right now. And so the first thing that jumped out to me, man, in the aspect of the hoodies, of course, an aspect of, Trayvon Martin's situation, man. And we know how that went, nationally, a national story that ended in tragedy all around, ended in tragedy and no justice all the way around. And, left a lot of this generation, like we talking about our kids, man. We had to have a lot of conversations looking at our babies, man, like after this. So to see that what you guys are doing, man, talk a little bit about the road that you guys are on and the navigation you guys are doing, paving the way for the culture, man, which is beautiful and looks like, man, something never been done in history before, which is crazy. So go ahead and y'all tell us the story. Bless us with a story about what you're doing, how it came about, and like where is this going, man?
Go ahead, Jay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
We usually do this, be like, go ahead, Dre, take them away. No, Jay, go ahead.
All right. I'll say it. I have been teaching for 8 years, and teaching criminal justice as a 3-time convicted felon is not normal. So I always got students coming to class ready to light me up or whatever. And it's like, man, I'm not going to let you do that. Like, I'm ultra prepared. I know the system from being a slave, from getting 12.5 cents an hour, from like really seeing how police like turn us against each other, allowing people in the hood, make up this paperwork. Like, I saw all of that firsthand. So going to college and studying it was rather natural. I already came in with a lens of, I need this education to teach the hood. I didn't even know I could get a job in criminal justice. I didn't know it was possible because I didn't see anybody with felonies in the field. So I'm just like, I'm going to try and bust through these doors. But I have been teaching for 8 years, and I was on point, teaching prison corrections and society, taking students inside the prison, seeing my guys in prison, making all these vibes. And I was across the country as a restorative justice trainer, too, to say you don't need a criminal justice system. You need a restorative justice system. So I had already had where I was an activist and an academic. So I just said, screw it. I'm at Hamlin. That's Minnesota State University. I'm gonna take a risk here. And I said, I'm gonna wear a hoodie the whole semester. And you got to get approvals. You got to run it through IRBs and all of that stuff to make sure nobody gets harmed. So I sent it through the IRB. They came back and said, go ahead. And I took a picture and I stacked up books, The New Jim Crow, Just Mercy, Racist America. I stacked these books up and asked my family to join me in a photo. We took the photo and it went nuts. In the midst of the pandemonium, Like it went, I mean, people were jumping in there saying all kind of stuff. Like, you gonna wear pink hoodies, you gonna wear green ones, what about purple? You gonna wear that? Man, it was just way beyond what I had even set out to do, because I was just trying to lift up Trayvon and get these schools to humanize me before they got their badge and their gun. That's the extent of what I was trying to do. And Andre, like, we had been rocking. He brought me to Iowa City. We was already vibing on stuff. And when I made that post, he said, hey, let's go ahead and do this right. Let's talk to lawyers. Let's get it trademarked. And let's move the culture. And now, it's like on a global level, people feel us. And we were grateful for that. We still humbled by it. But at the same time, it's like, wow. Like,
and I love in the aspect of that part of the story, though, man, when something bothers you in the world and you decide to send a message and do something about it, like, how dope is it, man, that the universe conspires to move out your way, man, when you stand up for something. But a lot of people are afraid to stand up in their purpose, stand up in their gifts, or even stand up in things that bother them, man. You know what I mean? And for you to be a felon teaching criminal justice and deciding to stand up for what was going on a national level, and then your expectation was just to send a message, but look how far it blew up, and to be able to move you to what you guys are doing right now. Let there be a message to those who have things in their heart that they want to do, things they've been praying about, things that they believe in. Like, if you stand up for it, look at what's possible. Look what can happen for you if you just connect to it and close your eyes and just jump, man. Take that leap of faith and see what happens. So Andre, man, talk a little bit about, man, what happened. So when my man did that, everything went viral, went crazy, and he got with you, man. So what happened next, man?
Absolutely. And I would say, when Jason made that post, I was in a transition from like just doing fashion shows and just doing things for the community, but just doing it for us. I was an activist from a different lens, and I knew that, I knew Jason was heavy in academia, and he was going to be successful in academia regardless. And I was like, man, what great idea would that be to take this to the world? This conversation needs to be had in the world, not just in the classroom. It needs to be had in the world. And what greatest way to have the conversation is with a fashion designer and a professor, somebody who's already teaching. So let's teach the world what it means to be humanized as a Black person. So that was kind of my whole idea when I went into it, and I wanted to cash in all my chips because I was already doing my thing. I had a whole nother brand, I had built this thing up big as it could get. 22 shows by myself. I got staff and other things like that. I'm talking about 22 shows in Iowa as a Black man myself.
Wow.
Shutting down streets. I shut down the whole street, man. Have exotic cars out there, all kinds of different stuff. Doing circus. I did a circus in the middle of the street. I was doing all kinds of different things that nobody has seen. When I was saying trailblazing, we really was trailblazing. So I knew that we could. I knew we could move the culture with the fashion piece. I knew we could. I was like, man, if we make this stuff look like this and bring it in here, look, change the logo like this, and we can speak to the people. And what happened during that process, I was transformed. You got to think, like, I be training people too now. You know what I mean? Like, I got my juice. I bring in my spirits from the ancestors, and they give me the words to bless the people too. So it's like, I hadn't been in that world before. I was just a designer, a Black man as a designer. But now that I have the knowledge, I see what it's done for me and what it's done for my life and done for my family's life. So let me say this to anybody who just think they just regular and like a designer and just, anybody who just that's Black, that's just designing stuff. I say, man, dig into your history, man. Go learn something, and from there, let them spirits guide you into something, man, because that's what basically is done for me. And now we're in an opportunity to really liberate the people and move the culture. We move in the culture. So yeah, man, that's how it started, man. We just took that thing, man. We ran the wheels off that thing the first years, man. Like, for real, we was throwing hoodies to everybody we possibly could. We built it very organic. Jason, we had the street thing, we had Ally, we had all kinds of stuff, man. It was insane, man. It was pandemonium. The first year was pandemonium. So, like, from that, we knew, like, oh man, we felt this way. And the conversations that people was having about this hoodie, let me back up. The first time we actually published this hoodie was in New York Fashion Week. Like, Jason went to the classroom, I went to New York Fashion Week. I had the opportunity to go work as production designer. So I wore the hoodie. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to wear the hoodie out there, man. We get love like that, man. I'm coming back. I ain't even doing that other stuff no more. I'm doing this. We went out there, and I was like, man, it was insane. No, for real, like, it was insane. White men would be moving out the way. They would read my hoodie and move to the side. Like, they had a business suit and they brief. Ladies were sitting on the stoop. They would say, hey, come here. Let me talk to you about your hoodie. Tell me what that means. People at the fashion event they was flicking up. It was like, asking questions. It was just amazing. I was like, I was hitting Jason every 5 minutes, just letting him know, like, hey, man, look. Hey, it's cracking. Don't worry about nothing when I come back, fam. It's on, you know. So, and from them conversations, just that easy, because of our trust and our friendship, we was able to build something amazing. And I don't even call it a company anymore, a business. It's a movement. So it's not like I'm running a company no more. It's like, how do you lead a movement? Because we generals of a movement of people. Like, we got an army of people that trust and believe in everything that we do. So it's different than running a company. And I don't know how to explain that, but it's really different than running an actual company.
But it's like this, brother. I got a saying I came across a long time ago. It said, once you find your purpose, you never work a day in your life. You know what I mean? Like, once you find your purpose, it don't feel like work. It's like, it's you. So a lot of people talk about careers and things of that nature. But when you find something that's hand in glove, when the bird finds the air, when the fish finds water, like, that's what it's like. That's that feeling. Only a few people get an opportunity, man, to really experience that. So they'll be on the outside looking in, and they say, man, y'all work all the time. You do this, that, and the other. And what you don't realize is we don't feel it. Like,
yeah, that's true. Thank you. Thank you, man. You summed that up. Jason been trying to figure that out for a long time. Thank you so much, man.
Listen, because I'll be honest with you, like this thing that I'm doing right here, man, right now, you guys are standing inside of my mind from 15 years ago. This is stuff I saw from 15 years ago, and I had no idea. I used to see this stuff and like, man, nobody want to hear me talk with my country self, with my gap, and you know what I mean, and with these black man wide shoulders. This before the beard, you know. I was trying to do the corporate brother thing and all the rest of that stuff. That wasn't my thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nobody don't listen to no old dude. All these doubts was in my head. But I never stopped moving forward, man. And so, and I love you guys' story. It sounds like you guys were individual trailblazers in your thing, something that you were passionate about. And then the universe brought you guys to cross paths and crossing paths. See, here's the beautiful part. The beautiful part is you got to be humble to come across somebody who vibrate on the same wavelength that you do in their particular thing. Yeah. And you guys have to get out each other's way and not get in each other's lane and put ego to the side and emotion to the side and everything else. Sure. That's a lot of times what people don't think that black people know how to do, especially black men. They don't think that we know how to put our egos down and get out each other's way to be able to really grow something and do something great. Listen, as we enter into our last 10 minutes, I know it went fast, right, fellas? I know. As we enter into our last 10 minutes, we talked about what you guys wanted to make sure you connected on with your movement and what you're doing. Yeah. And so what you talked about was the criminalized images of us, like humanize us now, not when we dead, not when we are hashtag. You know what I mean? Talk a little bit about that, man. Like, what does that mean to you? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, every day we lace up, we fighting white supremacy. Every day we go in a classroom or set up a fashion show or photo shoot, or like Andre had a liberation space. We trying to get them the knowledge we didn't have. So it's like we jamming with Colin Kaepernick because we want people to know their rights. You know, if I would have known my rights in 4th grade, 5th grade, it would have changed my trajectory. I wouldn't have been oppressed as much, and I would have been able to say, hey, 4th Amendment, man, you can't look in this car. You can't go past me. So, you know, it's like for us, we want to stand up and give our people a chance. So many of our people are in women's prisons or correctional facilities or juvenile facilities, and we wasn't able to, you know, break those shackles. But now Humanize My Hoodie is giving a platform for everybody to be able to stand up and say, hey, I'm a janitor. I make 100 stacks a year being a plumber. I'm an architect just by wearing this. There's people who even call us like, hey, man, I'm about to quit my job. I'm rocking Humanize My Hoodie when I walk out.
I promise.
So I think it's like we want to, like Nipsey, we want to hustle and motivate. That's all we want to do. We want to be able to get it for our families. We want to be able to own land. We want to be able to make sure our daughters and, you know, Andre's son, little AJ, we want to make sure they don't got to worry about their tomorrow. We want the community to feel that. So we ask our people, man, come to the table with your gifts, because we're going to fight against this white supremacy, and we're going to be fly, and we're going to be us while we do it.
Ditto.
I love it, man.
Ditto.
Look,
Absolutely.
Ditto.
And look, like you just passing the microphone, like it's his verse to rap, man, real quick. He like,
hey, sometimes I'm this hype man. Sometimes I'm this hype man. Sometimes I'm hype man.
Likewise.
Hey, I look at y'all energy, man. Like I love how y'all move and how y'all interact with each other, and synonymously got this kid and play thing going on. You know what I mean? Like y'all just move real smooth. You do your thing, and you know I love that. Another thing we talked about was you said fighting for true liberation and what it looks like. Like when I think of liberation, I think of freedom. But I got a little something I'm gonna share when you guys get done, because I constantly hear, you know, the thought process of the crabs in a barrel situation, right? So when you said liberation, that's that opposite of that was the crab in the barrel for me. That's what visual it gave me. But talk a little bit, man, about, you said fighting for true liberation. Like what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
For me, I think it's exactly what we talked about earlier. It's chasing your passion, man. It's chasing the passion over the profits, man. Like, if you can chase your passion, you're going to be liberated as a person because you're chasing the things that you want to get. So that's true freedom.
So self-liberation first.
Self-liberation first. We got to liberate ourselves, and then we can liberate the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're showing right now, is us liberating ourselves. By me and Jason doing what we're doing, me being able to write a book with him and being an author, man, I liberated myself I didn't even know how to do that, but I liberated myself into my passions and my gifts to be able to be an author. We talked a lot about this conversation is liberation.
For sure.
This conversation is liberation. Just being an audience member in this conversation, you're going to be liberated because you're going to be thinking about how I can get free and how I can use my passion and my gifts. Do I have to go feel this microaggression today? Do I have to be in this? Do I have to be in this situation? Do I have to have these supremacists on my back today? That's the thing. It's like, that's the liberation. I think people think it's a specific idea. I think liberation is what you're going to make it.
Listen,
that's what we all was fighting for, man. Angela Davis, man. I mean, everybody, man, Sada, we was all fighting. They had their own visions of liberation.
Harriet Tubman,
everybody did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel liberated because we having this conversation and we get to talk to folks. I get to be a fashion designer. I get to be an abolitionist. I get to be an activist. I get to be all these things in one person, and that's liberating for me.
Yeah, so we want everybody to find it. Everybody who's Black. We want you to know who, Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, who they were, because it's like they infused and interwoven into the tapestry of everything we do.
Yes.
Like our ancestors are huge part. When we putting up a quote, like we might throw up a Meek Mill quote that says, "What's free?" Put an image next to it so people can really think, man, what is freedom? What are we chasing? What was Marcus Garvey trying to teach us? Like, are we really in these swords and really understanding what was laid out before? And let's come up with something in 2021 and adapt it. So I think in that freedom, people show up with music, people show up with art, people show up, some people feel like they just provide food to the people. So everybody, when they bring their gifts to our table, we all come up together. We creating two ecosystems and economies for ourselves. And it's like, if I got 10 people I really rock with and I love them and they love me back, we can circulate our own dollars and come up together and liberate ourselves. So we're trying to educate our people, but we're getting them shackles off of us too. All them policies that harm us, well, we can't get this. I'm 42 years old. I just got a passport the first time in my life. First time. That should never be the case, man. Like, that should never be a situation. Cause it's like Andre has been all over the world. I gotta watch him. I'm like, dang, you finna go where? But now, when we liberating people say, dang, you was able to get a passport after them felonies and all that. Now I can pass that information and say, yeah, this is how I did it. I can do it again. I can do this again. My baby can come with me to the polls, etc. So when we talk about liberation, we talk the true liberation where everybody can have autonomy over their body and they're free from being oppressed by men, women, or whoever. You can chart your own course and not have to like duck or dodge this trap. That's what we aiming at.
I love it, man. I think you guys, we talked about this before we started. And those of you guys that are listening, it is impossible to take this level of wisdom and stuff it all into one show. So we definitely got to get you guys back as you grow, as you do things, different stuff that's going on, because I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued with the movement. I'm intrigued with the courage it takes to go through the things that you guys have been through, that you haven't even shared everything, but all the stuff that you've been through, and you got the audacity to wake up every day, man, and get this thing a try every single day with all this stuff that's going on, and love people, and love your family, and love yourself, and be able to drop these kind of nuggets, man, to genuinely want people to be better in a world that really is it seems like everything is designed to murder everything that you're about. You know what I mean? Your whole way of life. And you have the nerve to be resilient enough to smile and build and grit your teeth and come together to be able to do some great things. And also as brothers to be able to celebrate each other, man. That's something that's super, super important. And what I want to talk about as we end, before we get ready to, before you tell us how we can support and where we can find you and all the rest of that. But the crab in a barrel mentality that we often have conversations about. So I got a thought about something. I want to see what you brothers think. So crabs in a barrel. First thing that makes me think about it is, what is the natural habitat of a crab? It's definitely not a barrel. Okay? Definitely not a barrel.
True.
So could it be that the crab in a barrel of people pulling each other down, that's a internal perspective of something that's pulling and calling that crab to higher, to see what's going on at the top of the barrel, so they can get back to that thing that's calling them, which is their natural habitat, which is the ocean. Because in the ocean, they had to climb over each other. Everything was in abundance. So let's go here. Back in Africa, when we were hungry, we snatched a piece of fruit off the tree and we ate. We weren't hustling, trying to do nothing. We were one with nature. We were one with animals. We'll go and kill a wildebeest and give the rest of it to a lion. And that's why they became domesticated, with us. That's why you saw brothers running with lions and things of that nature. And so a lot of things that people think are amazing today were normal to what we were. So when I hear the crab in the bucket aspect of it, I don't look at it as us trying to pull each other down. I think the environment that we got put in makes it appear that way. But the truth is, we're just trying to find that liberation, man, within ourselves to get a different perspective. And it takes courage. Think about this. It takes courage. Once you get to the top of and y'all been here, you get to the top of that barrel. Now all your people are still down there. And it's this vast ocean, this vast place that you've never been before. It's a natural thing, but you've never been there. And it sounds like what you brothers have done is you guys have cheated the barrel, man. It sounds like you guys have jumped out of the barrel, went to the ocean, and came back, and now y'all cutting holes in the bottom of the barrel, man, letting people know that you ain't got to do all that. That's what it sounds like you guys do.
Man.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, like you said, crabs don't belong in a barrel. Like when my people left the South and was coming to Chicago, we shouldn't have been redlined. We shouldn't have been put in 60626 or 60649 without no resources. Yeah. So absolutely, for us, we look at it like we was in a barrel. Like I dreamed of being able to have healthy conversations in the free world when I was rising up on that bunk, and I was 204956. That mentality is pervasive. Because if I can't see outside of this vibe, and I can't see outside of these 8 doors that's blocking my freedom, it's hard for me to dream of being something I never seen. But before I think if we are crabs in the barrel, I'm that crab that's saying, hey man, I'm not staying here. I'm not staying at the bottom. I might not make it out, but I promise you, I'm the one that's gonna make it to the. And I said that even as a successful person in the underground economy, I still was saying, hey, y'all got 100 stacks, but this ain't me, man. I'm getting through this. Yeah, so I think, right. So I was looking at it. So with the crabs in a barrel mentality, when I see people who feel like they got to fight or step on somebody else to get to the top, I always show, I'm going to do this with integrity. My daughters ain't going to live in my mess. when I leave, my daughter's gonna have their own clean slate. My mentality of being at the bottom ain't gonna impact them. They gonna dream and they gonna dream big. They ain't gonna get that cycle from nowhere. So yeah, if we at the bottom, because Andre always felt he could design his way to the top.
Yeah.
He always felt it was something he can do. I mean, definitely in a different way. Because when he said he wanted to start selling hoodies, I'm like, I did not go to school to sell them. Like,
yeah, this is not what I dreamed of, brother. It didn't look like a hoodie. Right.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, man. I think Kelly, you summed it up, man. We jumped out of that barrel mentality, and now we in the ocean swimming. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, Jason. And yeah, now we is coming back to cut some holes in that barrel. Yeah. And we are, bringing some people that we feel like, man, they put the time and they put the work in. They ain't crabs. They like us. They one of us, but they just surrounded by the wrong thing. We creating those waves. And that's what that liberation space was. It was the opportunity to show that, man, all this stuff y'all thinking about us, man, it's not true. These people, we just need a safe place for us to go in and create.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we change lives. So, yeah, exactly. I love your analogy, man. And the way you sum up me and Jason, that's great, man. For real. That sum us up pretty well, man. For real.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, man. And what's crazy is like what you said, like y'all was doing this work, man, before it was popular. You was already in the grind on doing this work, man. Like I heard a brother say one time, it took him 15 years to become an overnight success. You know, it's like everybody gets some fruit after he was in a grind and nobody was around. You know what I mean? So listening to it, even when Clarissa brought the opportunity for us to connect, man, and I started to read up on you guys, I said, it sounds like I'm finna meet some people that I'm gonna be connected with for a little bit outside of this right here. This is why I do what I do. And listen, I got family in St. Paul that I ain't seen in a long time, man.
Hey.
And when I play this, they're gonna be, and listen, I love them, and look, we all from the hood, dog, and I love them, but y'all know we hood in the mugs. I know y'all listening, so I want to hear y'all mouth. Listen, my family, they used to come down from St. Paul to East St. Louis to get gold teeth.
Hey, I promise you, I would know them, man. St. Paul, we call it St. Small, because everybody know each other. But yeah, the Twin Cities, man, it's a lot of love here.
Hey, fellas, listen, man. Unfortunately, we got to end, man. Listen, I enjoyed the conversation. Again, humble. Don't take it for granted on the work that you guys are doing, man. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and buy a hoodie. I'm gonna buy the documentary. I looked up and saw all that stuff on there. I'm gonna go get all that, man. And when I take a picture with my hoodie on, man, I'm gonna tag y'all in it, man. So when we get done with this, we make sure that we get our information exchange and all that good stuff. I'm talking about personal phone numbers. I don't want your people to call my people. No, I ain't on that. So we can connect because I want to have this conversation again. I think it's important. You guys, my first show going into 2021. I feel like it was relevant. I feel like after all of the crazy going on with the president and the Capitol and all the rest of the stuff, and we didn't even fly by that at all. So we're gonna come in, man, and chop it up and have a conversation. And listen, I'm not gonna act like I didn't hear you get excited about me smoking cigars either. So it sounds like we got other conversations to have. I'm saying. So fellas, all of the information that you guys, all your links and videos and everything, when I advertise this, man, I'm gonna put everything in there, man.
I appreciate that.
And you guys are gonna be able to see it. So, but let's chop it up a little bit more. We close to 45 minutes, so that was what we were trying to aim at. And I'm grateful, man, for the nuggets that you dropped. I'm grateful for y'all being them crabs that jumped out the barrel, man, cutting some holes in the side, man, giving people the breadcrumbs that they need to be able to grow. So as a black man and as a man, I'm appreciative that you take care of your family, that you take care of business, and you've been an example. Because you've been an example with where you are. It makes it easier for me when I walk into a place and somebody look like me, so people know that there's men like you that's out there, brother. So I'm humble, and I appreciate that. And before we go, your social media handles or what have you, where can they find you at? We'll start with Jason first. Jason, where can they find you at, my brother?
Go to the website, humanizemyhoodie.com. You can text humanize to 33777. That'll get you all the emails, the newsletters, all of that. You know, I'm not big on social media, so I'm just Facebook and LinkedIn. But Andre got the Instagram. We got the Humanize My Hoodie Instagram. And Andre, throw your social, out there.
International Dre. International Dre, Instagram. Humanize My Hoodie at Instagram. Humanize My Hoodie at Twitter. It's all Humanize My Hoodie if you following us on social. And as Jason mentioned, if you want exclusive stuff or exclusive information or just just more information about Humanize My Hoodie, text Humanize to 33777.
Well, fellas, it's been an honor. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the platform. The name of the show is #NewHistory because I keep meeting amazing people making history every day who never tell their story. So having this platform is an honor. This is a figment of my imagination. I'm getting an opportunity to co-create my path with the universe, and it is beautiful. And I'm grateful to be able to come across brothers like you, to have conversations like these. And so those that are listening, I hope you get a chance to take some notes. I hope you let your sons and your daughters listen to this, because there are Black men that are out there doing amazing things at different perspective places, and we working together. It is possible. We want you to be free. We want you to be liberated and be able to define this life, whatever version that you decide. Oh, yeah. And to our babies, we love y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
For sure.
Next time.
Absolutely. Peace.
Peace.
#NewHistory. #NewHistory.